Good morning, everyone. Good morning, replay viewers. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. We are doing 100 Days of Nerd Quotes. This is Lord of the Rings week. Hey, Edwards. So, today's quote is from Frodo, naturally. And it's, "You cannot always be torn in two. You'll have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do." So this quote is when Frodo and Sam are breaking off from one another in the very last movie where Frodo's about to go to the Grey Havens. And what he's telling Sam is that Sam is very upset. He's distraught. He's so upset about Frodo leaving, and Frodo's trying to remind Sam that, he has to go live his own life. Just because they're parting doesn't mean they're parting permanently, and it doesn't mean that they are, that Sam should consume himself with being split between his life in the Shire and Frodo being in the Grey Havens. So I wanted to talk today about setting yourself as the priority and not making decisions based on other people, because thank you guys for all the hearts. So let me just reset real quick. I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself? So my name is Kelsey Silver. I am a confidence coach and licensed therapist, and I do 100 Days of Nerd Quotes. We're doing 100 daily scopes with nerd quotes because nerd girls rule, duh. And this is Lord of the Rings week. Hi everyone, thanks for jumping in. So today we're talking about setting yourself as a priority. So we're talking about Frodo's quote, "You cannot always be split in two." And it's, you will have to be, so y'all can see it. You cannot always be torn in two. You'll have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do. So we're hopping in. So how do you set yourself as the priority? Well, let's start with why we don't. So we're taught from a very, very young age that we have to be people pleasers, and that we have to always be making others feel good and feel protected and feel safe and feel, we have to be polite, and we have to conform to all of these different rules and societal expectations. And most of those expectations are pretty selfless, which is a good thing. It's good to give, it's good to be there for other people. But when we focus on ourselves, hi everyone for jumping in, thanks. When you focus on yourself, it's usually, at least in societal terms right now, considered selfish. And so we don't actually ever get to focus on ourselves because, we wouldn't want to be called selfish, ew. And hi everybody. So when you think about setting yourself as a priority, there's this expectation, or this fear, I guess is the better way to put it, that if you set yourself as a priority, you'll be labeled as selfish. And I say screw that. I hate the word selfish. I don't believe in the word selfish. I believe in the word self-focused. Self-focused is a very positive and beautiful thing. When you're self-focused, you take care of yourself, you engage in self-care, you create meaningful and lasting relationships, because healthy relationships start from within. If you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, it's nearly impossible to attract anyone to love you. Think about it. Who wants to love someone unconditionally that can't even love themselves? And that happens. You fall in love sometimes, and it's with someone who struggles with insecurities, and that's usually a beautiful thing because you can help them work through that. But it's very difficult to attract love to you when you don't love yourself. So you have to first be self-focused, not selfish, just self-focused. So if you guys want to throw up comments or have questions about this topic, definitely feel free to. I'm just going to keep talking about this because I got a lot in my head. So hi turkey. When you turn the focus back in on yourself, when you become self-focused, we can often waver between self-focused and the different things that we need to focus on. So, for example, one of the most difficult things is sometimes when you're transitioning from, say, young adulthood into adulthood, is balancing family with your own needs. And we feel torn. So how do you go about balancing those two? So for example, if your family wants to get together with you more often than you really have time for, you have a life on your own. But if you really love your family, it's the expectation, well, but if I don't go and spend time with them, they're going to think I don't love them. It means I don't love them. They're going to get upset with me. I don't want to disappoint my family. And all of these negative emotions come in, just flood in. But instead, what if you took a step and said, wait, what is best for me? What's going to make me the healthiest so that I can continue to have healthy relationships with others? And that might be, I need to spend time. So this is a conversation I have to have with my family. Is, I need to spend time with with my husband. I need to spend time with my friends. I need to spend time working on my business. Hi, Elisa. How are you, sweetie? So good you dropped in. So how do you balance those two? Well, it comes from communication. Hey, love. And so I have to have that conversation with everyone that's involved in my life. But I wouldn't have that conversation if I wasn't self-focused. I wouldn't have that conversation if I thought I was selfish by having that conversation. So it really does start with being self-focused and saying, I am a priority in my life. I am important in my life, and I have control of my life. Because before you take any steps towards kind of merging all of those focuses into one, you first have to believe that you are important. And a lot of times that's very, very difficult. A lot of times we think everyone else is so much more important than we are. So it can get a little bit difficult. So just to reset, because I know we got a lot of new people. Kelsey Silver, and we're doing 100 Days of Nerd Quotes. Today's quote is, you cannot always be torn in two. You will have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do. How a lot of times we think that being self-focused is actually being selfish. And I hate that word selfish. I prefer the word self-focused because, sorry, Lord of the Rings music's getting a little loud. So when you feel like you're being selfish, take a step back. Say, am I setting myself as a priority here in a healthy and productive way? Is this going to make me be healthier? Is this going to help me have healthier relationships? And is this going to help me communicate with others my actual needs? And if it is, then do it. Who says you can't love yourself? Who says you can't focus on yourself? Who says you can't set yourself as a priority? Now, granted, sure, there's ways that you can be selfish about it in terms of harming other people in order to set yourself as a priority and things like that. There is a line that you could potentially cross, but just putting yourself as a priority in everyday life, that's not going to mess you up. That's not going to be that's not going to be the thing that turns everyone against you. In fact, a lot of times people can fall more in love with you when you become self-focused, when you start taking care of yourself, not just physically, but emotionally as well. And we often forget that. So just to recap, guys, when Frodo is talking to Sam, and he's saying that you cannot dwell in the past. You can't dwell on our relationship and how we're now split. Thanks, Lisa. And how we're now split from one another. You have to be able to move beyond that. You have to be able to focus on yourself, and you have to be able to live your life, because there's so many incredible and amazing things that you can do if you focus on yourself, if you put yourself as a priority. So today, guys, Stephanie, I'm about to sign off. Oh no. Thank you, sweetie. Alright, so, alright, Stephanie, you're here. So, guys, if you've heard this already, you can scoot if you'd like. But Stephanie, I know you love Lord of the Rings, so I gotta stay on for you. We're talking about Frodo. I know, sweetie, it's okay. We're talking about Frodo saying to Sam, you cannot always be torn in two. You will have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do. So we're talking about how you, my beautiful Stephanie, Elisa, you're in here as well, all you beautiful people that are sticking around for me, you have to set yourself as a priority. I know, Steph, it's beautiful. And I've got Into the West playing, just so you know. But you have to set yourself as a priority. You cannot always be split in two with your focuses, whether it's family or work or friends or a side business or even your hobby sometimes. Like I'm a cosplayer, so I'm getting ready for Comic-Con, and you know, I worked myself till 3:30 in the morning the other night working on my cosplay, even though I knew that I had to get up at 7:30 in the morning the next morning because I wasn't taking care of myself. I got so wrapped up in like, I just have to get this done, I just have to get this done. If I had done it because I was enjoying it, because I was getting super excited about it, that's one thing, but I was pressuring myself because I knew I had to get other things done. So that's a wrap, Steph. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. I really appreciate it. Set yourself as a priority today. Don't let yourself be split in two by all the thousands of different things that you can do. You're an incredible person. You deserve to be a priority in your life. Thank you, Stephanie. You too, love. And if you scope, text me so I can pop in. So guys, love you guys so much. Thank you for popping in. Elisa, thank you for coming and supporting me every time I do a scope. I love you to death. We have 3 more Lord of the Rings quotes for this week. The Paybo Pull Forward on Friday. I already have my quotes set up. We're doing stereotypes this week. Beautiful, Stephanie. I would definitely pop in, okay, hun? So guys, thank you so much for coming in. Set yourself as a priority. You're amazing and beautiful, and you deserve to be self-focused. It's not selfish, it's self-focused. We gotta do our little dance. Yeah, because it's Lord of the Rings week. I love you guys. Mwah.